No burnouts, nice start. Steady on the way through.
Can I go mode 7 on spark unit, please? Mode 7?
Okay, can you hear me now? I was talking this entire time and I just realized I was muted. There we, oh my gosh. Wow, that's incredible. All right, welcome everyone to the stream. Apologies for that. Um, Here we are for some D2 action, season opener at Catalonia, Spain. And I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be very interesting. New game, clean sheet of paper for everyone just to kind of hit the reset button and see where we all are. We don't know where if drivers have progressed or regressed or how they're feeling with the new handling. So I think this will be one of the best races of the season for sure. There we go. Okay. So a lot of familiar faces from last season. I think about just over half the grid is returning for D2 action in DER, as we have the fastest lap at the moment set by Jay Dennis in the Alpine. If you have any predictions for this race, please feel free to pop it in the chat. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna go with drivers who I don't know. So let's say Mohammed top 10. Um, hmm, Typical Jimmy podium, and I don't want to like jinx anyone here, but I'm gonna go with a King Papa DNF. So we'll see what happens. But I want some bold predictions from you guys if you are able to be active in the chat. All right, so we've got who is on a lap here. I think everyone is just completing their first runs here. On board with Milo Bello. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Approaching the final sector now. Fourth gear. Low on battery. I'm not sure if that's something new this year, but that seems to be a pretty significant depletion of the battery there. He's completely empty as he comes across the line, and he sets a 13.6. So puts him into P7 there. Oh, Brass Monkeys goes a bit wide there. I'm not sure if he was on a lap. His current time is a 1 minute 15.6. Going through the last couple corners now. Oh, he lifts through there. So, yeah, he's coming into the pits. I'm pretty sure that corner is flat in this game, that second last corner. So, Bartofor sets a middle sector too. Has the Bartofor found some pace on this year's game? We will have to wait and see how he goes here through the final sector. Has a full battery for some reason. Maybe this is just his outlap, but he's going to come across the line with a 13.8, and that puts him into P9. And again, his battery is still pretty full. I don't think he's using much deployment right now, so maybe just the banker lap. Maybe he's testing how well he can save up his battery. I'm not sure what that's about, but he is improving on his second lap here. Around about a 10th and a half gain as he just starts the second sector. I left pretty neat and tidy through there. Got a yellow flag in sector 2. I think it's the Kick Sauber. That would be Mohammed. It's probably going slowly. He is coming into the pits. Oh, big slide from the Bartofor there. Is able to recover it. He still has a full battery. Very, very interesting. So Yeah, we'll have to. Maybe if he gets a post-race interview, I will be asking him about that. He does improve. He's up at I think he kept his same position at P9, but he improves his time. He actually has the exact same time as Milo in P8 of 13.675. And he's going for another lap here. And he's gaining again. And this time he is using his battery. He's got 60%. So is this the lap where the Bartol 4 sends it and tries to take an aim at pole position? He was pretty quick in Season 2. I'm not sure if he challenged the front too often, but he was always in the top 10 in the mix for good results. And the battery isn't depleting as quick as I saw with some other drivers, so maybe he's not using his hot lap deployment mode, because I know that in this year's game you can use different deployment modes. It's no longer just the overtake button. Third gear through there, a little bit squirrely. That was pretty tight and neat. Flat out, penultimate corner, approaching the last corner now. Flat out again. Lots of grip there. And he gains again by 0.2. Mute myself in the game. Alright, let's see. I started a party because I thought that was the issue with my sound. But I left the party. It's still working, my mic. So I'm not sure if that changed anything. Let me know if it's fixed for him, please. Maybe do this to be safe. Is the push to talk button. R3. Okay, I've never pushed R3. So let's just make sure that push to talk is on. Okay. Okay. That should be better. We've been going pretty quick so far. Only 7 minutes to go. As we're riding on board a typical Jimmy right now. As he goes for his second run. Gets a nice little slipstream from the Haas car there. Oh, runs a bit wide. I don't think that was intentional through there. And he'll probably be down on his time. Heading through Sector 2 now. Little lock up there. The brakes are much, much more difficult on this year's game, and it definitely puts the non-ABS runners at a disadvantage. So we'll see if that plays a role in this Grand Prix, and see if it favors the assists runners a little bit. So right now, Jay Dennis is in pole position. El Shakal P3, Kodoy P2. Where is Bobo? He's in P8. Your championship winner from Season 2. Currently in P8. So has there been a turning of the tide? Is Jay Dennis the new front runner? Is Alpine the new front runner? These are 1 and 3. That's a very good starting point for them. We know that these two are fast. They were fast in Season 2, but this may be their first taste of podiums or wins here on the new game. I think Jimmy is going up for another lap here. The battery is almost empty. I believe this is our newest member of the league, Jimmy. So if I'm right on that, welcome to the league. He is 0.3 down. King Papa's starting a lap now, so let's see what he can do. That looked pretty solid going through the first couple corners. Neat and tidy, flat out through the right-hander. And he is gaining by a couple tenths. Yellow flag just before the start-finish line. I think that's a Red Bull. Third gear through there. That was interesting. Ziad goes to P1. Oh, and that was not flagged for track limits there. So he's gonna keep pushing. Oh, and he's boxed. So Ziad is on pole position by about 0.3. We have about half a tenth between P2 and 3 here. Jay Dennis and Kodoy. And from P1 to P18, it's about 3 seconds. But then if you go from P1 to P15, it's about 1.5 seconds. So the field appears to be pretty tight with only a couple outliers. Maybe these were banker laps from these 3 here. We'll see if they can improve on their times. So Muhammad is on a lap. He is gaining. Yeah, looks like a very close field. I think we have a very, very interesting season in store for us. And again, we haven't seen the pace of Kev the Slice and Ramon Tabasco, who we know are very quick drivers. So that will definitely shake things up as Muhammad goes to P13. Again, not much gap at all separating the cars around him. Less than half a tenth to both Bobo and Bartofor. And speaking of, these guys, 12th and 14th. So that is not at all what they're used to. As last season, both of these drivers were closer to the front of the field. So we'll see if they can improve on their times. Getting ready to start their final laps, I'm assuming. Less than 3 minutes left in the session. So now is when we're going to start to see all the cars start to come out of the pits to start their flying laps. And already, Oliver Ritchie, King Papa, Ishii, and the Bartofor are coming out of the pits to get ready to start their final flying lap. This is the crucial stage. This is the all or nothing lap where you have to give it everything and try to gain those crucial positions to start the race in a better place. So I think Muhammad is coming into the pits now. So Oliver Ritchie will ride on board with him. He's the first driver to start their final flying lap. Oh, and he's using his overtake button. Interesting. Oh, so is that on the left? If someone in the chat could clarify for me, that where it says hot lap on the left, is that the deployment mode? Is that like how we know? Oh, it is. For Jimmy, it says none. Okay, that's really helpful from a spectator standpoint. So Oliver Ritchie has hot lap enabled right now. He used overtake earlier in the lap, and he enables it again there. I believe overtake gives the drivers a slight extra boost in power. Oliver Ritchie currently in P7 on board with the Nigerian. He's just got into the 1 minute 12, so the 1 minute 12.9, and he doesn't have much separating him and Al Shakal even in P4. So let's see what he can do here. Across the line, a P1! Oliver Ritchie goes to pole with 1 minute 12.0. Cracking lap from him. Who is next? I think it's a Sauber. It's Muhammad. He is down on his time. Next is Expedito. He's starting his lap. Then it's an Aston Martin. It's Ishii. Oh, and he has to lift there to the final corner. I'm not sure how good this lap's going to be. He loses. He doesn't gain on his time. Next across the line is an Alpine, I believe. Jay Dennis just starting his lap. Next. Oh, comments I can't really see. Okay, typical Jimmy is the next driver across the line. He is down on his time by a tenth. So I don't think he's going to be challenging the pole position time set by Oliver Ritchie. So the checkered flag is about to be dropped, and typical Jimmy, the lead car at the moment, is not going to cross the line in time. So these are the final flying laps for everyone left on the track. Typical Jimmy up to P5. That's a good lap. And Zia next to cross line, he goes pole, 1 minute 11.8. And El Shakel improves to P5. I think there's a Williams coming up next. It's Bobo, P3. P3, that's a solid lap. He recovers from not the greatest start to his qualifying. On board with Ishii now. Ishii currently in P12. A small gain could have him up into the top 5. Let's see what happens here. He doesn't gain on his time. Kodoy moves up into P4. Alpine, who's next? Jay Dennis up to the line, P3, 1 minute 12.2. Yellow flag, that's a Mercedes. Next to cross the line, King Papa, P7. Good lap from him. I think Milo just went up into P15. Or no, it was an Aston Martin. It was the Bartofor who moved up into P13. Okay, so that was quite an exciting finish to qualifying, if I say so myself. So usually it's hard to commentate on qualifying because there's not much happening, but these drivers gave me lots to talk about. So thank you to you guys. You are the ones that make it happen. So we got pole position for Ziad, Olo Ritchie in P2, and Jay Dennis in P3. I'm pretty sure Olo Ritchie was close to the back last season, so that is very, very encouraging for the Ferrari driver. All right. Now, after seeing the qualifying, if anyone has any updated predictions they would like to make, please feel free to put it into the chat. We have, 1.5 to P15. That's very, very tight. There's it's anyone's game really. Comes down to practice is a big factor. So the more practice you do, generally the faster you'll be, or just how good someone is at a track could help them improve their result. I'm not sure if there's a formation lap or not. We're going to find out pretty soon. So let me look at the chat. Let's see what predictions you guys put for me. All right, Touchski said P3 Bobo, P2 Ziad, and P1 Perez. Is Perez like an AI or I didn't notice anyone with the name Perez, but P3 Bobo and P2 Ziad, that looks very, very possible given their qualifying position. So something that I've seen from footage of this game and my first couple hours playing this game is that qualifying and the race are very different. The way that the drivers handle their cars in the race plays a huge role in tire wear, and you can't drive in the race like a qualifying session because your tires are just going to melt. So, as I said, when my mic wasn't working, so nobody heard it, Spain is a very, very high tire wear track, and that's mainly because of the heat in Spain. So that is probably going to be the biggest factor today is the tire wear. So we've seen who has practiced their qualifying laps. Now we will see who has practiced their race simulations. So we've got a soft compound tire runner. That is interesting. We will be taking a look at the tires now. We have six soft compound runners and 12 medium compound runners. So maybe a 2-stop. I don't think a soft hard is the best strategy, but who knows? Maybe they can make it work. P1 Perez. Yeah, I don't see a Perez touch, but Bobo and Ziad are definitely in the mix for podiums here. So just have to wait and see. We had Milo and Readouts. Milo. I'm not sure how to say that. Milo. Disqualified from the formation lap. The cars are just reaching their grid slots. And we are getting ready to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go for the first race in DER Division 2 in Season 3. Looks like a good launch for Ziad. Jay Dennis already up into P2, and he's going to make a move onto Ziad going into the first corner, and he gets the move done. Jay Dennis, great launch off the line. He's up into the lead. Oh, and a cracking move down the inside for Jimmy there on the uphill right-hander. Jay Dennis still leads through Ziad and Oliver Ritchie. Lots of movement happening in the back here, in the midfield, I should say. Oh, it looked like the McLaren got pushed off to the grass. Lots of wheel-to-wheel racing and... Oh! Snap of oversteer from Lawson. I'm not sure if he made contact with the Mercedes there, and they crash. Lawson and Ishii barreling into the wall. Will that be a safety car? Maybe a VSC? I'm not sure whose fault that was. It looked like DJ Lawson was just trying to regain control of his car, and then Ishii kind of came across on him. I think Ishii assumed that he had higher speed. That will probably be looked at after the race. But Jay Dennis keeps his lead after the first lap. He is on the medium tires, so is Ziad. So Kodoi, being on the soft compound tires, he needs to pass the top two runners as fast as possible. He needs to take advantage of those tires because he's not going to have the advantage when it comes to tire durability. The two cars in front, being on the mediums, are going to hit later than him. He needs to get past and build a gap and make use of those soft compound tires, or else there's no point in really putting them on. So he is really close to Ziad as it stands. Only 2/10 separate them. He's going to get DRS. The rules changed in F1 this year. DRS enabled after only the first lap. And Ziad looks to be pretty fast in a straight line. So that will definitely not be what Kodoi wants. Red light already flashing, but he's at 92%. So that's interesting. Kodoi is at 51%. The top two are conserving their battery. Kodoi is not. He is pushing, giving it everything, trying to get past. He is right on the gearbox of Kodoi, Ziad, as it stands. He opens the DRS and he has to burn his battery because Ziad is simply faster. And Jay Dennis is a sitting duck right now with no DRS. Is he gonna lose two positions in one corner? It appears that he will, and Oliver Ritchie is coming at him as well. So Ziad retakes the lead of this race. Kodoi gets up into second place, and Oliver Ritchie is vying to get into that last podium spot. We've got a great battle brewing at the front here for the few laps to come. Let's go back to the midfield as we have Super Sean going for a send down the inside of Jimmy. That's a nice move. And it appears to be quite the DRS train, but it's better than everyone being 5 seconds apart. So Milo and the Bartol I don't know if there was contact there or if it was just a spin from the Bartol, but he is in last place after that incident. I'll try my best not to switch to the cameras as quick as I did during the League vs. League event. I know that wasn't ideal for most viewers, so I'll do my best. As Bobo and Al Shakel are going side by side down the straight, and Bobo gets the move done, breezes past the Alpine there. He's up at the P5. And I think Super Sean is gaining on King Papa as well. Only 1.5 tenths separate the Mercedes and the RB. This is great to see. We have, apart from Bobo, we have every driver from P1 to P13 in DRS. This is what racing is all about, ladies and gentlemen. We want to see close battles. We want to see overtakes every 5 seconds. We want to see this action, and Spain is a great track for racing, so it's putting on a great display for the viewers at the moment. The yellow flag, I think that's what the Bartol for again. Maybe getting caught out on overheated tires. Typical Jimmy. 2 tenths behind King Papa. It's getting pretty close there. Oh! Snap of oversteer from King Papa. I'm not sure if typical Jimmy had to hit the brakes a little bit to avoid him there, but let's see if he can make a move down the straight. They're all going to get DRS because they're all on the train, as Super Sean has DRS, but he is 1 second back of Bobo, and El Shakel gets back at Bobo, re-overtakes the Williams driver. Expedito gets past the kick Sauber of Mohammed, and Redoubts is picking up the first penalty of the Grand Prix. He's currently in P10. Bit of a tangle with the Sauber drivers as it stands. They're at the back of this DRS train. 93% battery for Milo. So he is using his ERS to his advantage here. He's saving it to try and make a move on Expedito. He's only 2.5 tenths back as Oloa Richie gets past Kodoy. Oh, and Kodoy is off. He's spun. So Jay Dennis is out of DRS from Ziad, so this completely opens the door for Oloa Richie to get past. He's turning on his battery. I'm not sure he needs it, but he sails past the Alpine driver, and he's up into P2. So I think he's gained a couple positions. After lap 6, let's see who is the biggest gainer, and it is Redoubts. In P9, he's gained 7 positions. And our biggest faller is DJ Lawson, who's in P16. Drivers are starting to spread out a little bit. We still have lots of battles going on at the front, at the midfield, at the back. But more and more drivers are starting to lose DRS from the car ahead, as DJ Lawson is the second driver in this race to pick up a penalty. Spain is not the easiest track for track limits, but lap 6, that is quite early, and those two will have to watch out and be careful, because in the end, especially with a late safety car, penalties can absolutely ruin good races. So Super Sean and King Papa here are pretty close to each other, pretty close to El Shakel. Got a good battle brewing here for P5. El Shakel just going to get the DRS on Bobo, so that will help him in his defense on Super Sean. Going down the main straight here, and El Shakel appears to be pulling away a little bit. He's 8 tenths ahead, and King Papa side by side going down the inside, wheel to wheel with these two. Great racecraft, leaving just enough space for each other. Super Sean keeps the position. This year's game speeding penalty is 10 seconds. Ooh, that is very costly. For sure, that will count with track limits. 10-second penalty, that's the difference between a race win and not even in the top 10 potentially. If there is a late safety car. And El Shakel, the next driver to pick up a penalty. They are struggling at the moment. Only lap 7, we already have 3 drivers with penalties. So those drivers that are able to keep it within the white lines will have a huge advantage when it comes to the end of the GP. And Oloa Richie is absolutely flying. He's in the DRS of Ziad. Ziad doesn't have any DRS being the leader. Let's see what Oliver Ritchie can do here. Is he going to make the move into turn 1? I don't think he's gaining enough, but he's keeping his battery in a decent position right now. 50%. Ziad, 45%. Al Shakel side by side with Bobo there. I think Al Shakel backed out. He's right on the gearbox of the Williams driver. These two have been switching positions all race long. That appeared to be a rear tire lockup for Bobo there. The rear of the car stepped out a little bit. Another little twitch going through that left-hander, but he appears to have a good exit there. 5.5 tenths separate these two. Let's go to the back where Expedito and Kodoy went side by side. The readouts are just ahead of them. Contact, but they managed to keep it on the track. So interesting, the red light is flashing on Expedito's car, but he has 70% battery. Kodoy tries to go down the inside! Outbrakes himself, takes out readouts, and I think he hit Expedito as well. Let's see if he has damage. Doesn't appear to be any damage on his car, but he may be boxing after that incident. As Oliver Ritchie is 2 tenths behind the Mercedes driver. Oliver Ritchie is absolutely flying right now. We have a lot of drivers in the chat cheering him on. Let's see what he can do here. 4 tenths behind Ziad. They're on the same tire. They're on the medium tire. So it would be wise of them to not lose each other too much time to the cars behind. They are on their own on the track at the moment. But if Oliver Ritchie sees an opportunity, I'm sure he will grasp it and he will make the move. So he's going to have DRS here. I don't think this straight is long enough for him to have a go at Ziad here, but it will help him stay close. So he is just under 5 tenths behind as it stands. 68% battery for Ritchie, 67% battery for Ziad. So they are neck and neck at the moment. I wish we could see tire wear from the spectator view, but unfortunately we can't. As we were talking about at the beginning of the race, the tire wear is going to play a big role in the outcome of this race. The pit window is approaching, and Oliver Ritchie is approaching the Mercedes driver, and he goes down the inside and into the lead. Oliver Ritchie started in 4th, and he's into 1st. Oh, he started in 2nd, my fault. He was in 4th after the first lap, I believe. But Ziad is not going down without a fight. He is right on the gearbox of Ritchie. 3 tenths separate the two drivers. We have a good old Mercedes and Ferrari fight. None of us are new to that. Red light is flashing. I think Touchkey said something in the chat regarding the red light. Let's see if Ziad has a go here. He's looking down the inside. He doesn't go for the move. This battle at the front is brewing up very, very nicely. We have a yellow flag in the middle sector. I'm not sure who that may be. I think it's King Papa. He is down at the P12 at the moment, but he manages to keep going. So 3.5 tenths separate the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Overtake button enabled for Ziad. Overtake button enabled for Oliver Ritchie. And Ziad makes the move down the straight. Let's see if Oliver Ritchie goes back, and he doesn't. So Oliver Ritchie down to P2, but not out of the contest. Still 3 tenths separate these two. And the good thing about this battle for these two drivers is that by making the moves down the straight, they aren't losing any time to Jay Dennis. And he has been losing a second, I believe, over the past couple laps to the two drivers at the front. So we'll keep an eye on that gap. Right now it's 2.8 seconds to Oliver Ritchie. And we have Redoubts and Ishii very close to each other. I'm going to switch to this battle for a little bit, and I'm going to switch back to the battle for the lead once they start coming down the main straight. See if Redoubt's able to make a move. Oh, Ishii gets caught on the outside curb there. Is he going to go for it down the inside? He doesn't. It appears that Oliver Ritchie is not going to make the move down the main straight. I'm looking on the mini map right now. He's half a second behind Ziad. So is that a tire wear difference? Is Ziad finding pace that he didn't have before? We don't know, but Ziad appears to be pretty comfortable right now, 7/10 ahead of the Ferrari. And we have the Kick Saubers. They've been battling all race long, and Milo gets past his teammate to get up into P8. Who else should we watch? Kodoy. We haven't seen Kodoy in a while, and he breezes past the McLaren into turn 1. And after a tough start, he had that spin there early on. He is making some places back, and he's in P13 at the moment. So now all the drivers are starting to spread out a little bit. I think the pit window is opening soon, especially for the soft compound runners. So nobody has pitted yet. Nobody that has... everyone that hasn't been involved in any incidents have not made their pit stops yet. Obviously, Kodoy had that spin early on. King Papa had a spin, and I'm pretty sure DJ Lawson had a spin as well. As Jimmy and Super Sean swap places because Super Sean is the first car into the pits. Let's see what tires he chooses. Mediums. I think he started on the soft tires, if I remember correctly. I highly doubt he is making it to the end on mediums from this point, but we will see how good his tire management skills are. So I'll keep it on this screen for now as we go back to watch Oliver Ritchie's battle with Ziad. But first, the two Kick Saubers are going side by side once again. Only 2 tenths separate these two, so it is only the first race of the season as Muhammad gets the move done. As I was going to say, it is only the first race of the season. Could this be a potential team rivalry between these two? The first opening 13 laps of this season, we've seen plenty of overtakes already from the two Kick Saubers. Oliver Ritchie not using any battery. Oh, now he uses his battery. He has a look down the inside, and he doesn't go for it. Decides not to send it. Keep it behind Ziad for one more lap. Maybe he'll make another move, another attempt on the next lap. So this has been a very exciting race so far. We're almost halfway through already. Lap 14 out of 33. And Redoubts makes his way into the pit box. Let's see what tires he chooses. He is on the softs. So I don't think any medium runners have boxed yet. So it will be interesting to see what tires they go for as Redoubts goes onto the hards. And Expedito is the first medium compound runner, I believe, to make his pit stop. And he goes back onto the mediums. Maybe he was on the softs. Oliver Ritchie is approaching the main straight once again, and Ziad dives into the pits, and so does Oliver Ritchie. So let's see if any of them have a slow stop, if any of them can, if Oliver Ritchie, I should say, can make up a place here in the pit lane. Let's see Ziad stop, and he goes on to the mediums, and Oliver Ritchie goes on to the hards. Oh, Ziad got on to hards. My fault. They look yellow from my view, but they are white. So, a medium hard strategy from these two. And now El Shakel and Bobo still going at it here. Jay Dennis also made his pit stop. He's on the hards as well. Let's see if these two, I think since they're both on the mediums, they will be waiting a couple more laps before making their stops. Let's see, maybe El Shakel goes for the undercut, maybe they stay out a couple more laps. Who knows? Brass Monkeys diving into the pits. I'm going to switch back to the tire screen. Super Sean and Kodoy. 2 tenths separate them. Will Super Sean make a move into the hairpin? He's very, very close to the Red Bull. Goes a little bit wide and onto the curb there. And both Bobo and Al Shakel are into the pit lane. So I think it is getting to that time for the Kick Saubers, for Ishii, and for Smooth Operator to make their pit stops as Mohammed dives into the pits. Milo does not. So let's see if Mohammed can come out can be ahead of Milo once Milo makes his stop. We also have Ishii diving into the pits. And we have lots of cars bunched together here. I'm not sure what happened. I just arrived to the viewing party. Bobo and Al Shakel just exited the pits. And Super Sean and Kodoy have caught up to the back of them rather quickly. So we have another battle that we get the pleasure of watching here. Is Super Sean going to send it? He does not, but he will have the inside line and he will get the better exit. So that is Super Sean back up into P6. So this is crucial for Bobo. Super Sean can defend from Al Shakel and let Bobo build a gap here and get away from Al Shakel, because they've been fighting all race long. And that could change the way that this race ends up playing out if Al Shakel loses the DRS to the cars ahead. And he is losing DRS to the cars ahead. 9 tenths separate him and Sean. Kodoy is only 3 tenths behind. Oliver Ritchie was gaining on the Mercedes driver, but he again is not able to make a move as Milo comes into the pits. Let's see if he is ahead of his teammate after the pit stop. Super Sean into P4. So those mediums look to be a lot better than the hards as Sean makes up 2 positions on that lap and he's up into P4. Can he go to the end on those tires? It's very possible. When did he start the race? He started the race in P10. That would be a phenomenal drive, P10 to P4. I'm sure he would be happy with that. Let's see what happens as this battle unfolds further. We're going to go back to Ishii as he's fighting with the Kick Saubers at the moment. 4 tenths between him and Milo. And Mohammed ended up getting ahead of Milo with the undercut. We haven't had any safety cars yet in this race. Ishii deploying his hot lap battery mode, maybe trying to get past these Kick Saubers, and he goes very, very wide and onto the gravel. I'm not sure if he got a warning for that, but that was definitely not ideal for the Aston Martin. And Oliver Ritchie, once again, not able to make the move down the main straight, but he is just knocking on that door of the Mercedes driver, just waiting for an opportunity so he can slip past. This battle has been brewing since about lap 10, since the opening stages of this race, way before the pit stops, and they are keeping it in the DRS of each other. So we will see if this will continue for the end until the end of the race, but right now it is definitely looking that way. So far, no penalties for either of these drivers as they lap Smooth Operator, the first lapped car of this race. That's a lovely shot, isn't it, with the drone camera? Bobo, pretty close to Super Sean, but he does lose some time to the last couple corners. We're going to go back to Oliver Ritchie. And he's going to make the move this time. He's going to go down the inside into turn 1. And the Nigerian driver is back up into the lead. And Kodoy gets a 3-second time penalty. Ziad is right on the rear wing of the Ferrari. Is he going to send it? The red light is flashing. He's at 40% battery. Oliver Ritchie is. Super Sean and Bobo trading places. Let's see what's going on here. They're going side by side to the uphill right-hander. And Al Shakel says, "Hello, mates." as he arrives on the scene. This is going to be a great battle for the next laps to come. Down the inside goes Bobo. Slight contact there between the Williams and the Mercedes. What an exit from the Mercedes. Super Sean. Does he stick around the outside? He backs out. Is he going to come back at him? I think he had to lift there. But he has a very, very good shot down into the hairpin here. No DRS for Bobo. Is he going to send it around the outside? He's going to keep it in P5 for now. Maybe he's going to make the move down the main straight. But Ziad did a great job staying close to Oliver Ritchie, down in that lap, and gets back up into the lead. Out of the pits comes, I think that's a Readouts, the Haas car. And Bobo pulled away quite a bit, but Super Sean is going to come back at him. Down the inside. Not much room there. Oh! Al Shakel. What a move. Contact with the Mercedes, but he's up at the P5. I'm not sure how legal that was, but that was a ambitious dive from Al Shakel. Is he going to get another position here? Oh no, Ritchie has overtaken Ziad, who's off the track. That completely changes the complexion of this race. Ola Ritchie has now gotten out of the DRS. He's on the exact same tires as Ziad. Now all he needs to do is just keep it there. Stop Ziad from getting the DRS. And this is Ola Ritchie's race. This is his win. He's got 13 laps to wait. This battle still going on for P4 between Sean, El Shakel, Bobo, and Kodoy. The Kick Saubers still within DRS of each other. Very, very closely matched on pace, it appears. And Ziad has already gained about 4/10 in half a lap. The Mercedes driver will be on a mission to regain that position. I should be a stand-up comedian. No, I shouldn't. Oh! Super Sean! Switch back! The good old switcheroo contact! He still keeps it down the inside. Is he going to get the move done on El Shakel? He goes down the inside. El Shakel tries to switch back, and he might get it done as well. Great battle between these four cars here. But again, El Shakel and Kodoy had those penalties. So this is good for Bobo and Super Sean if they can keep their races penalty free. And again, Ziad is gaining on Oliver Ritchie. Ladies and gentlemen, this race is far from over. Ziad gained a couple tenths on that last lap. He gained a few tenths after the incident. I was interrupted by this lovely battle right here, but I was going to say that Ziad is a man on a mission, and all of a sudden he's only a tenth and a half behind Oliver Ritchie. Ladies and gentlemen, this race is very, very, very far from over. 3 wide into turn 1, side by side with El Shakel and Bobo. Who's going to come out in front? El Shakel is the inside line, the outside line now, and he just has that slight bit of overspeed, but Bobo has the shorter distance. Going down the inside, and Bobo gets back up into P4. Lots of position changing between these four, and it is great to watch. Fantastic racecraft. I think this is probably one of the best battles that I've commentated on in this league. I think this is one of my first times commentating anyways, but it is definitely a spectacle, and I'm sure everyone at home is enjoying this as well, as Kodoy goes a little bit too wide there. The flat out right hand there, snap of oversteer from Bobo. I think that was a rear lockup, and Ziad is knocking on the door of Oliver Ritchie's DRS. Now he's under a second. Oh, and we have a lapped car potentially. Is he going to get in the way of Oliver Ritchie? DJ Lawson is ghosted, so he will not get in the way. And Ziad is only 7 tenths behind. What is going on? What is going on? Ziad has found an enormous amount of pace as El Shakel gets back past Bobo. Oh, and he gets tapped in the back by the Mercedes. Oh, that is frustrating to see. from a spectator's standpoint because that was such a good battle that we had. And that sees Bobo into P8. He's going side by side with Jimmy here. See if Bobo goes down the inside. He will, and he will keep it in P7. So Kodo is still on the scene. Sean is still on the scene, but this is a perfect opportunity for El Shakel to run away with this a little bit. He does have that penalty, so he has 11 laps to get out of the 3-second range of Sean, unless Sean picks up a penalty himself. So Ziad now, going down the main straight, is well within touching distance of Oliver Ritchie. He gained that back in no time at all. He had almost a 3-second deficit to Oliver Ritchie, and now that gap has completely vanished into thin air. 3/10 separate the Mercedes and the Ferrari, and we have 10 laps to go. And Kodo speeds in the pit lane, 10-second time penalty. We were wondering if he was going to make those tires last, and he has answered the question for us. He is coming into the pits, and he is throwing on hard tires with only 10 laps to go. Jimmy gets past the Williams driver of Bobo. Sean is gaining slightly on El Shakel, but Oliver Ritchie is doing a good job keeping Ziad behind him. But Ziad has a completely full tank of ERS. He's got 90%. Oliver Ritchie, 40%. And King Papa and Milo, very close between these 3 cars, I should say. Again, these kick Saubers, I feel something brewing here. They've been together the entire race. I think they've been in DRS the entire race. And Ziad is going to breeze past the Ferrari and regain the lead. That is something. He had a 3-second deficit to the Ferrari, and he made that up in literally 3 laps. That's amazing. I'm not sure if Oliver Ritchie made a couple mistakes there. There was a pretty significant drop in the gap. I think it was like from 2 seconds to 1.3 or something. I think Oliver Ritchie locked up at turn 1. But still 3/10 between them. So this battle, once again, we'll have to say it, because it has to be said, this battle's far from over. We still have about 8.5 laps to go in this race. 4/10 separate the two. And the lapped car of DJ Lawson is pretty fast. He's on the fresh mediums, and he's keeping up with these two. I'm not sure if he's getting in the line of sight of the Ferrari, maybe. But yeah, I was thinking he's not really battling with anyone right now. He's 24 seconds behind Ishii. So it would be ideal for the front runners if Lawson dropped behind the Ferrari just a bit. He is on the fresh tires, so that would explain his pace. No, it is DJ Lawson. I'll go back on board with him now. And what's happening here? King Papa and the Kick Saubers trading places. Papa back up into P9. Again, or was it Kodoy who was looking good? No, I'm mixing him up with Kodoy. Kodoy was looking good at the start of the race, but he had that spin early on. I think it was contact with another car. Jimmy and Bobo are still tangling it out here on lap 26, 4/10 between these two. And Ziad is just inching away from Oliver Ritchie. This isn't great news for the Ferrari driver. I think maybe he just burned out his tires a bit too much, because Ziad seems to have the advantage right now. But Oliver Ritchie is less than half a second behind him. Let's see if he's going to make the move here down the main straight. He turns on the battery. Oh, and Ziad got DRS from the lapped car. That is very controversial. That could have been Oliver Ritchie into the lead, but Ziad had the DRS from DJ Lawson there. 6.5 laps to go. Half a second between Oliver Ritchie and Ziad, and Oliver Ritchie gets past the McLaren. typical Jimmy and Bobo side by side down the main straight, and they will trade places once again. Jimmy into P6. As soon as things look one way, they change. Oliver Ritchie looked to have the win in his hands, and it slipped away. Ziad appeared to be the faster driver once he got caught back up, but Oliver Ritchie is right in his gearbox once again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very exciting finish to this race. I hope you guys are enjoying it. This is probably one of the best finishes that we're going to have all season. Oliver Ritchie down the inside, and he gets back up into the lead. Crucially, both these drivers do not have penalties. So if one of them was to pick one up at the end of the race here in the last 5 laps, then that will mean first place or second place. Bobo and Jimmy still going side by side. I'm trying to focus on the leaders, but I don't want to take away from the camera time from these two either. They have a great battle as well. Super Sean is still with Al Shakel. They haven't traded places in a while, but they are still within DRS of each other. And the Kick Saubers are trading places down the main straight once again. So Oliver Ritchie back into the lead. Lap 28 of 33. The red light is blinking, but he's on 75% battery. Now he has more battery than the Mercedes. So he has been doing some battery conservation, but I think the Mercedes is going to get the move done here down the straight. He's not using his battery, and Oliver Ritchie is. Is he going to go defensive? He's lifting. Ziad is lifting. He doesn't want to make the move just yet. And the McLaren of DJ Lawson is into... No, he's not into the lead. But he re-overtakes them, and the inside goes Ziad. In the uphill right-hander. What a move. I wish I had looked at that earlier. But that was a great move for the Mercedes. And he's back up into the lead. Super Sean, 3/10. 3/10 between him and Al Shakel. We will keep an eye on that as Jimmy gets back past Bobo into turn 1. So many battles to keep an eye on here. We have 4 battles. We have Ziad and Oliver Ritchie, Al Shakel and Sean, Bobo and Jimmy, and Milo and Muhammad. But props to the Saubers because they've been battling all race long. Like truly, they haven't been out of DRS for a single lap this entire race. And they've kept it clean from what I've seen. So again, he's gonna get the DRS from the McLaren. That I don't like that. I'm sorry. It's not fair for Oliver Ritchie because really Ziad shouldn't have that DRS. DJ Lawson shouldn't be fighting or quote unquote fighting. He shouldn't be in between them because by giving Ziad the DRS, it keeps him ahead of Oliver Ritchie, and that might not be the case without the DRS. So they do get back past the McLaren. So we'll see how this battle plays out without DJ Lawson in the picture. As a big lock up there from Ziad. And Bobo gets back past Jimmy. I'm going to stay completely focused on this battle for the lead. The last 4 laps. Brass Monkeys gets within DRS of Redoubts back in P15. And we've got a yellow flag. Who is that? I think it's Expedito, but it will not cause a safety car. Is Oliver Ritchie going to get the move done now? Ziad will not have DRS this time, but he has a bigger gap. It's 6/10. I don't think Oliver Ritchie is going to get it done here. He is saving his battery. He's saving it for when he can get closer. Ziad is on 40%. He's using absolutely everything. And Oliver Ritchie is at a full tank. So with 3 laps to go here, this energy conservation battle between the two drivers is going to be very, very important. Anything can happen here. They can pick up a penalty. They can have a a lockup, they can have a big snap of oversteer, and this battle completely changes. So everything is on the line here. P1 and P2. First race of the season. Who's going to be at the top of the table after round 1? I'm not sure if Ziad was in the league last year, but if I remember correctly, Oliver Ritchie was nowhere near P2 last season. So this is, for me, I'm very happy for him. It's always nice to see drivers improving and getting better at the game. And he's here. He's fighting for the lead. He's 6/10 behind the lead with 2 laps to go. And this, I'm not sure if it's going to be his first win, but in DER, but to open up the season with a win after being close to the back in previous seasons, that is definitely a big confidence booster for him. 4/10 separating the 2 drivers. We got 2 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 laps. I hope you're all watching this attentively because this has been exciting all race long. The race has absolutely flown by. And here we go. We've reached the dramatic conclusion. Oh, another lockup there from Ziad. Readouts. I think he's going to get past his teammate, Brass Monkeys. Just looking at the spectator menu there on the left. I don't think he will. 5/10. So as it stands, it looks like Ziad is doing just enough to keep himself ahead of Oliver Ritchie. He needs to make the move now, Oliver Ritchie. On the last lap, he doesn't have that big long straight until the finish. He doesn't have that big long straight. He just has the finish line. So if he's going to make the move, he's got to do it now. And he does do it now. Down the inside goes Oliver Ritchie. Last lap. This is for all the marbles, ladies and gentlemen. Ziad is only 2/10 behind. And if he's going to make a move, he's got to make it quick because the main straight is no longer an option. Oliver Ritchie used all his battery there. He's on 25. Ziad's on 50. Looks down the inside but doesn't go for it. Has another lockup there on the downhill left-hander. He seems to be struggling with the brakes at that specific corner, but is he close to Oliver Ritchie? He's right on the gearbox. He might go for the move here. He might retake the lead. Oliver Ritchie, all his battery is being deployed. Oh! And he doesn't go defensive, and Ziad is going to go down the inside, retake the lead, but Oliver Ritchie is right on him. Oh, what a finish to this race this is going to be. He goes for the switchback, but Ziad slams the door shut. And I think this race is going to be won by the Mercedes driver unless Oliver Ritchie has crazy pace coming out of the final corner. It's not going to be enough. And the winner of the first race in D2 goes to Ziad. Oliver Ritchie put up an amazing fight. It was such a joy to watch. He comes home in P2. Jay Dennis, P3. See it. This battle is still brewing here. Ashley Kell is going to come home in P4. Sean in P5. Sean is going to overtake El Shakel from penalties. Bobo in P6. Jimmy P7. Kodoy P8. But Kodoy has that 10-second penalty. So is Muhammad going to snatch it away from him here? Let's see. Up to the line. P8. And he gets another 10-second penalty for not serving his 10-second penalty. So I think that's 20 seconds for him. We're going to find out. As Muhammad comes up to the line still. His teammates still in DRS as they get promoted after Kodoy's penalty. Ishii in P11, but he's got a penalty, so King Papa will be taking that place. Expedito, the last car to cross the line, as these 4 are lapped cars, and they finished the race 1 lap early. Up to the line for Expedito for P13. Wow, what a race. That was amazing. Absolutely epic. Great way to start the season. Driver of the day, Milo. But yeah, that race ticked all the boxes. We had battles up and down the field. This battle at the front has been cooking since the the opening 5 laps. And yeah, it's exciting to watch. I can't imagine the nerves and the excitement that goes through the drivers. They're battling for the lead in the last lap. Although Richie had it, he made the move down the main straight, but Ziad took it right back down the back straight. So we have a new winner. I'm pretty sure he's new to the league. So Ziad wins with the fastest lap with Oliver Ritchie in P2 and Jay Dennis in P3. Our former and defending championship winner Bobo finished in P6. So I'm not sure if this is not his best track, or maybe we have some new front runners on the new game. But then again, we still haven't seen Ramon Tabasco. We still haven't seen Kev the Slice. We are leaving D2 in a very good place for Thomas, as he will take the reins back next week, I believe. And I would like to do some interviews with the drivers here. So I will keep the stream open. I'm going to see if they're available here. Just waiting for the podium finishers to see if they would be interested in an interview. So we're just discussing it now with the DJ Lawson incident. I'm not sure if the outcome would have been different if DJ Lawson wasn't in the picture, but it definitely would have changed just like the battling between the top two cars there, because um, what's his name? Sorry, Ziad was getting DRS from him, from DJ Lawson. So yeah, I think Jay Dennis is going to be joining us for an interview. Just going to be like quick 1 minute, 2 minute interviews with these three. Sorry. Hello, Ishi. I'm just going to be doing some interviews in this channel for the next couple minutes. Hello, Jay Dennis. Thank you for joining. I think you're muted, but if you're not ready yet, no problem. Are you there, Dennis? You're muted right now. If you would prefer to type your answers, and that's okay as well, just let me know. Okay, last call, Dennis. I have to get the other two in the interview as well, so if you could unmute, I'll give you a couple more seconds. But if not, I have to move on. I apologize. Okay, I will. I'm gonna move on to Oliver Ritchie for now. If you aren't ready yet, then I can get you in after him. All right, so we're just waiting for Oliver Ritchie here. Oh, Jay Dennis will be joining us actually. Okay, so apologies for the wait, the viewers, but we will get these interviews out soon, and they will be posted on our TikTok if you would like to rewatch them, re-listen, I should say.
That should be a bit better.
Is that Dennis?
Yes, yes it is.
Okay. Thank you for joining the interview.
It's alright.
That was a great race. I mean, like you were in the front the entire time. It was a bit you were kind of like lonely, I guess, at the end, but you had some good battles with El Shakel and Bobo there. So what did you think of the first race? How do you think you did?
I mean, I had a good start, jumped 2 positions at the start, and then just went backwards from there. I think the 2 guys in front of me were just simply quicker. There was nothing I could do.
I mean, you made a
As soon as
great move into turn one there on the opening lap. That was very exciting to watch. I'm sure it was great to execute that move as well.
I
So
was a bit worried because I don't think I've raced Ziad before, so I wasn't sure how much space he would give me into turn one. But he was fair enough and let me have the space on the inside.
yeah, it was a great move. What else? What else? What do you think of the new game, and what do you think will happen in terms of the championship and like the front runners?
Well, I prefer the handling of this game as much as people have hated on it. I think it just suits my driving style a bit more, which is a bit more aggressive and sort of oversteer happy almost, which is
Right.
what I like. So I think it will suit me in that way. But I just hope that I can be consistent, and if I can't win, at least get on the podium and stay top five pretty much every race.
Right.
I think that will help me in the championship.
Do you think that with if with continued performances like this, do you think you'll have a chance at the championship?
Definitely, I think I can be quicker. I wasn't as quick today as I would like because as soon as I dropped out of DRS, I was losing 7/10 a second a lap, and it
True.
was just a bit demoralising as well when you've got a 10-second gap in front, 10 seconds behind, and you've seen no one all race. It's like, but
Yeah, it's a bit boring, but I mean, great result. Thank you for the interview, Jay Dennis, and good luck next
it's all
week.
right. It's all right, mate. Cheers, thank you.
All right, Oliver Ritchie, thank you for joining. So P2, that was such an exciting race. Like I have to say, props to you and the Mercedes there for giving us that excitement all race long. That battle's been brewing since like lap 5, and you guys kept it clean all race, kept trading positions, and it didn't work in your favor in the end, unfortunately. But you were right there. Like that could have been your race, especially if the Mercedes didn't get the DRS from the lapped car. So yeah, what did you make of that? How do you think you did? Yeah, you were able to keep up with them all race long. So that was so. What do you think of the new game? And I was saying it through the race quite often, but like I don't remember you being at the front too much in last season, and like to be a couple tenths away from the win there in F124. Like what confidence does this give you for the rest of the season? All right, okay. Thank you for the interview, Oliver Ritchie. Great race today, and good luck next week. Hello, Ziad. Thank you for joining. Just gonna make sure the stream can hear you here. I don't think they can. But start talking. No, okay. Let me see. Because they were able to hear Dennis, so I no, it's in the party chat. So check your party settings and make sure that it's able to be heard on other people's streams.
I think now they can hear me.
Now they can hear. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, they can. Okay, lovely stuff. All right, so Ziad, what a win. That was a fantastic battle to watch. I think myself and the viewers alike thoroughly enjoyed that one. Oliver Ritchie took the lead there on the last lap, but you were able to take it back in the final few corners. So congratulations, great job. What confidence does this give you going into the rest of the season? Winning the opening race, you're at the top of the championship right now. How do you think you can carry this momentum?
Yeah, of course it's a bit too early to be thinking about the championship. I'll just think about it race by race. Of course, Richie had rapid pace. We kept it clean and fair all race. We were in each other's DRS. We kept on switching. We had some help from a lapped car, both of us. But yeah, I took the lead in the last lap. I thought he wouldn't make it. I thought he was far enough, so he wouldn't go for the move. But I saw him coming quick. Then to turn one, then it's kind of shook me because the other straight isn't that long enough, so you can go for a move. But I just knew that I had to take like a tenth or even less behind him, so I can make the move. But he didn't go defensive, so I didn't understand that. But he left the space open for me. I think he
Yeah,
was going for the switchback, but
maybe.
I defended it well and fair. But he was also right at the back of the car. But I thank God we made it and we won the first race.
Yeah, we were talking about it on the stream how he came out of nowhere really on that last lap and
Yeah.
had lots of speed coming down the main straight, but then you were able to stick with him throughout the lap and you were able to take the lead back. So that was fantastic racecraft all race from you to not make contact or significant contact, I should say. It's amazing, and you guys really put on a great show for us. So
Yeah, I
thank you.
think that's the most. I think that's the most important part of racing in general. We have to make it clean. We have to make it fair. Otherwise, it wouldn't be that fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's not enjoyable if you don't have confidence in the other
Of
car,
course.
and it was again, you guys put on a great show for all of us. So thank you so much for that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for the
Thank
interview,
you.
Ziad. Good luck next
Thank you.
week, and you're at the top of the championship right now. So you know,
Yeah.
keep that
We'll
momentum
look
going.
forward to the next race, Austria, I believe.
I,
So yeah.
I will have to double check that, but have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was an amazing race to commentate on, and if Thomas isn't here next week, maybe you'll see me again. But if not, have a good night. Bye bye.